Come on, Monet. Hey, I feel alright now. Just now, feel alright. I said, feel alright. I said, hey, yeah, yeah. You make me feel like I'm on a show. Come on. Shake my name on it. 13 followers away from 200, man. Okay. Man, woman, primate, dog, cat, whatever the hell you are. We don't discriminate as long as you follow. Now, most of Canada does discriminate against Tampa Bay. Could have gone completely worse with that right now. But the only reason being is because they're playing Les Habitants. Butchered a little bit of my French Canadian there. And Tampa Bay is kind of the better team in this one. And nice little shot. No, good save. And clap bomb. No, just wide. But anywho, I'll leave that for a another evening. Well, it's going to be this evening because it's on the side of my screen, but I'll leave that and try not to focus on that. Want to become famous by followers? Want to go yourself? Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Okay, now I don't know. I might be in the minority on this one, but I am so happy that no more we get back-to-back weeks. We have one race in F2 and then a different race in Thursday night. It was getting a little much, the amount of same tracks we were doing in a week. I don't know, that keeps me entertained. It's just, I don't know, I like seeing all these tracks. The game has all these tracks, and I don't want to see the same one in the same week. I want to see, and then once in a while, yeah, okay, fine. Hit me with a double, alright, I'll take it. But every week for like 6 weeks, not saying it gets boring, but the different tracks keep it interesting. But we're going to stay on with Mystic Yoker here. Pull up our track map, see how he does. He's currently sitting up at the top spot right now. Will Ans is tucked in behind him as well, Super Dinas. They switch places. The Bertuzzi teammates of Jacko and Bacon seems to be swapping in and out of 4th and 5th with each other here. JC Blackley and Uncle Ben's Rice, I believe, serving qualifying bands here. Got a couple of new faces. Murfola. We've seen Villeneuve. And then other than that, everyone is a regular. And Mystic's coming around the final turn. Impossible Bacon has jumped up a couple of positions here. He's looking to get up on the front row, and he gets it done just ahead of his teammate. Super Ninas loses by 0.03 of a second to Elma Jacko for 3rd place. But he will be starting alongside. Will Ans is actually the one that loses out quite a bit of spots in the end of it all. So we'll go through our final qualifying order here. Oh, ow, that hurts. Ouch. It wasn't me. It was a Montreal Canadian. Okay. But here we go. We'll get on to the qualifying order here as I need to focus up. We got Mystic Joker going first alongside Impossible Bacon. This is Virtuzi teammate El Majako in third. Super DNS fourth. Will Lance fifth alongside HSVDT. Hotspot and Grumpy Old Catman in seventh and eighth. The Ray and Jinnit to win it in the top 10. Jinnit having a poor qualifying. Going to the bottom 10 and a half, we see Chunky Corgi, Crustier T, Knuckles, the Garrus Vac, Spaceman, Villeneuve, Mahi Mahi, Sui, Murfola, JC Blackley, and Uncle Ben's Rice. A good portion of those guys. Drivers did not set a time, either being it disqualifying or invalidation. R. So now what is the big difference between what did the 04 circuit have that the turn 9 looks a little, no, I mean it's a little sharper. Now Suzuka is actually, you hate it, you can love it, but one thing you do is you gotta respect it, because it is one of, I believe, 2 FIA approved tracks. Oh no, it was one of 2 FIA approved tracks that are figure 8s. That is a figure 8. So you know, tip your cap to that stat, as that's pretty cool. But we are gonna get underway here. Mystic Joker is gonna try and lead us into turn 1. Impossible Bacon gets a decent start, but he's gonna be under pressure real early from his teammate Elma Jacko, as Jacko sends it up onto the curb on the outside line there. Gets the move done. He's ahead of his teammate, as his teammate is fighting for 3rd place, as well as Super Ninas dropping back to 5th. Will Lands moves down a position as HSVDT picks up a couple of early spots. Super Ninas is actually lagged out of the session. That's not what you want to see. I'll try and help a brother out here. Gotta try and send an invite. There we go. Alright. I'm Jinnit to win it, not wanting to hit the back of Ninas, as there is a little bit of collision there. We have a driver off, I believe that's Uncle Ben's Rice at the back of the pack there. JC Blackley has moved up quite a bit of positions right out of the gate. Pull up this and that. We'll see where we land. Garrus Vac taking a position as well. Elma Jacko is just behind Mystic Joker here, as Mystic is going to try and open up the gap to Jacko right off the hop, but it's going to be a tough task, as Jacko seems to have a good race pace. Didn't qualify very well here, but we'll have to see how it can play out. These 2 drivers tend to separate themselves fairly early. It all depends on if Jacko can keep up to Joker here, and it looks like he's doing so early on. The other Virtuzi, Impossible Bacon, is just in the outskirts of DRS. Of course, no DRS quite yet until the end of this lap, but still a second can play off as fairly big. So we'll have to see if he's going to be able to get himself back within that second range. Will Lance has already fallen 2 seconds back and is now under pressure from Hotspot around turn 2. But he's going to hold it through the S curves, and we finish up the final 1 here. Through turn 7 we go, around the Dunlop curve, which is actually a fun little hard left-hander that you can put quite a bit of acceleration into. You come into this hard, not really hard, a good quick right-hander, and then back into another right-hander underneath the bridge. Excuse me. We'll swing into the hairpin here. You can open yourself up for quite a different lines into it, but obviously the proper racing line is usually the quickest way around. Quite a few drivers actually into the pit right out of the gate, so that's going to change things. Maybe going to throw on some mediums. Yeah, pretty much all of them. Crustier T and Corgi actually throw on some softs. Oh, did the Canadian score? Hotspot now getting a pretty good run here out of the spoon curve, as he's got the inside line in 130R. Will Ans tries to send it around the outside. It's forced off a little bit, but nothing too crazy, and gets a big lock up there as he is getting major oversteer through the turn. Does pick up a 5-second corner cutting penalty, so that's not what you want to see. DRS is enabled now. Hotspot doesn't get it, nor does Grumpy Old Catman. So actually yes, because it's Hotspot goes very deep through turn 1. He's going to drop behind Grumpy Old Catman through turn 2. And Grumpy Old Catman's going to hold that position through the S curve. And now he's going to try and work on closing the gap to Will Ans. Elma Jacko's fallen 2 seconds out of Mystic Joker now, as Mystic is really putting in some good times, and this race is actually really opened up. Will Ans picking up another penalty here, so that's really going to hurt his case here. Still in 5th place and on medium, so he's going to last out a little longer than these drivers in behind. Hotspot, ooh, get a little squirrely coming into that turn, but anywho, if you're new to the Midwest F1 League and you like what you see, or even if you don't, or if you're not too sure if you like what you see, why don't you just shoot us a follow, maybe come back on a later date, try it all again, see if it's a little bit better, maybe it's a little bit worse, but hey, if you shoot us a follow, very much appreciated. That'll put us at 188 followers, which right now we currently sit 13 away from our end of the season 3 goal. Nearly a year ago we started this league, so if we can get 200 followers by the end of the first year, then hey, you know what, we'll take that, and we are nearly there. So very close. Ooh, is that off? What's it? Okay. Someone just sitting at the Casio Triangle. Quite a little awkward area. FIA would not like that if that were IRL, but luckily it's a video game. Ginit Twinnet now really trying to make up the positions here. Oh, I think he actually qualified on mediums, which is why he went so slow. So taking a very different approach to this race. Maybe just trying to be able to drive the same speed as Mystic Joker, but just be farther back on track position. And you know, he's not doing that bad of a job so far. The two Bertuzzi's there are staying very close together. Looks like when Jacko's race pace has kind of slowed up a little bit here. I'm not sure if he's found himself in troubles or he's having a little bit of difficulties with the S curves there. But Impossible Bacon so far is running a good race, and good points are looking up for the Bertuzzi team, which, if you give me a mere moment, I can tell you exactly where they're sitting in the standings. And that'd be 2nd place right now, only 13 points back of High Tech, so a real tight battle between those two respective teams, as they've somewhat separated themselves from the rest of the pack there. Of course, High Tech second driver being HSVDT. So right now we see the top 2 constructors holding all the top 4 positions in this race. Mystic Joker setting a fastest lap 4 laps deep onto a set of softs, so he's really finding the pace here. Jacko is, I'm not sure if he's actually holding up his teammate. Does he actually have damage? No, he seems to be all intact there. Will Ans is under continual pressure from Mr. Grumpy Old Catman, as he's really trying to work Mystic Joker here, trying to get himself up into the top 5. I mean, of course, with the penalties to Will Ans, he will get himself up there once the race is done, but we are still 10 full laps away. On lap 5 we are right now. So still quite a bit of racing left to do. Some pit stop strategies need to come into play as well. And once again, coming around the hairpin, both taking some fairly clean lines. Ginit Twinnet has really maneuvered himself up through the field, now in 7th place, working on Grumpy Old Catman. Takes a thought about diving into turn 13 in the spoon curve, but mainly I think he just really put the pressure on grumpy old Catman, and Grumpy was thrown off a little bit on his braking point and has to concede the position and going deep through turn 13. Coming through 130R, both drivers take it fairly clean. Ray retiring from the session in the pits. Jinnit to win it, working on his fellow countryman, but Will Ants can't really battle it out here. Jinnit now goes up into 5th. Has some fairly clean air ahead of him here, as well as DRS down the straights. Next driver ahead is HSVDT. Mystic Joker maybe kind of undercutting a little bit here. The first of the proper pit stops of the drivers to start on the softs. We'll have to see what the Virtusis do. Which one is to come in first, and at what lap? Will it be this at the end of this lap, or will it be next lap? Jinnit to win it, somewhat getting slowed up at Murfolo. Murfolo respecting the blue flags and pulling off to the side. Jinnit to win it going through. Willands is doing a fairly good job of staying with Jinnit to win it. As right now, this is still the closest battle on track. Now, JC Blackley and the Garris Vac, they've got something going a little bit there. Vac looks like he got overtaken by Blackley at one point. Now Blackley is up in 9th place. Mahi Mahi having himself a quiet, solid race as well. But they are going for the longer strategy here, starting on the mediums. Trying to keep up with the pace and then break away. Now, taking a peek at where Jinnit, how far back Jinnit was when Mystic pitted. Jack was about 4 seconds back of Mystic, 5 seconds back, we can say. So then add that 3.5, add that half, that's about 9 seconds. And then add the 3 that Jinnit was at the beginning of the lap before he's been catching HSVDT. It's about 12 seconds. So 12 seconds back was Jinnit to win it to Mystic Joker here. We'll see when he pits. We'll see how far back he is, or if he's closed that gap. Now having fresh air. Will Ans is still doing a good job of staying with Jinnit to win it. HSVDT pits ahead of Jinnit, so he won't have to worry about having to overtake him, which is just going to allow him to keep putting in good, proper lap times. Mystic Joker working back up the grid. Now, how far back is Mystic? 6 seconds, 2, 10, 22, 23 seconds back. Okay, give or take. So I wouldn't say Jinnit. F2 pit stops are of course slower than the Formula 1 stops, so he's not quite clear yet. Mystic is on some fresher mediums, but they will be older at the end when Jinnit will be sporting some fresh softs. So Jinnit's big goal here is trying to keep the gap between himself and Mystic Joker fairly to keep it about where it is right now. If he can do that and he comes back out of the pit on some fresh softs and only like 3-4 seconds behind, then there's a good chance that Jinnit to win it can get this done. Impossible Bacon is going for a little bit of a longer strategy. You can see the difference there as El Majako pitted 1 lap later than Mystic Joker, and Mystic Joker was able to open the 3.5 second gap between himself, or on top of the gap that he already had. So maybe pitting a little earlier on the softs was the way to go. Mystic looking as if he's got his strategy down pat. So pitting around 4 laps deep on the softs, that's going to look at Jinnit to win it, trying to make these puppies last 4 laps longer. He does have the lead in the race now and has well opened up a gap to himself and Will Ans. Fastest lap, I believe, was just set by Mystic Joker right there. Halfway through this feature race, be sure to stay tuned, as just after this one finishes we take a short minute breather, if that, and we get right back in to the sprint race. So we have a double race on Wednesday night, so be sure to tune into both. Like I said, not too long of a breather in between, but we get right back into this. We'll go check on HSVDT, as he's real close to Impossible Bacon, and this is big championship points up for grab here, or constructor points up for grabs here. So we'll see what HSVDT can do. Of course, we're running out of races to go. Week 10, as you can see on your title there. Suzuka Formula 2, 12 weeks makes up this season. Normally it's 16, but with the shortened calendar, of course, with F1 2021 coming out fairly soon here, we're forced into a shorter season. So only 12 weeks makes this one up. Running out of time, running out of laps, really. But next week we're actually at Circuit Paul Ricard. Now, of course, it brought us a really exciting race in Formula 1 a couple weekends ago. So maybe it'll bring us a good race in Formula 2 here. Now, these guys usually make Circuit Paul Ricard a fun one. There's quite a bit of runoff area, and as well spots to battle on that track. It's a lot better in the video game than it is IRL. Impossible Bacon blocks off the inside, but goes a little bit deep through turn 1. Does a good job of saying it. Ooh, ouch. Grumpy old Catman gets to DQ. Going the wrong way. Ouch, that is not what you want to see. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Pulls off to the side just after turn 18, right beside the pit straight. HSVDT still trying to work on Impossible Bacon here. We won't see Janet to win. It's pit stop for a couple of laps here. He's got about 15, 16, 18. Okay, so Mr. Joker has closed that gap to himself and Janet to win it quite a bit. Still on some much fresher mediums here. Jin's really got to start putting in some good lap times here. Maybe JC Blackley can hold up Mystic a little bit, but JC Blackley kind of understands that Mystic isn't his race. And now finally into the pit. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I saw that, Grumpy. That sucks. Here we go. Janet to win it comes a little bit early in for some softs, and Mystic Joker is well down the track here. How far back is Janet gonna be, as he's just exiting the pit now, and that really hurts, as Mystic is already going through turn 5. So yeah, quite a bit of gap now. It's about 11-12 seconds, so that's even more than that, about 15 seconds to be honest. It's not what you want to see from the Janet to win it camp, but starting in 10th place, it was a tough task to make up all those positions as well, stay close enough to Mystic Joker. But he comes out and splits the Bertuzzi's here, so he's going to try and close down Jacko. It kind of helps out Impossible Bacon a little bit, because he's just still within the slipstream as well as DRS. But can he stay close enough by the end of this lap? I don't think so, as he already falls out of DRS. HSVDT does have the 3-second penalty for track limit. He's got that to worry about. He needs to try and get past Impossible Bacon and then open up a 3-second gap. And Elma Jacko is just ahead of him as well, so quite a difficult situation HS finds himself in. He's going to try and do his best to get as much positions as he can, but right now the podium is looking fairly heavy in favor towards Mystic Jacko Jinnit, or it could be even Mystic Jinnit Jacko, as Jin's already closed 2 seconds to Elma Jacko here, so getting himself closer. You can see him a lot tighter coming down the straight here. We're going to come around turn 1 through the S curves. Slowly but surely, Jinitwinit closes the gap to Elma Jacko, and we can sense a pass is in the cards. JC Blackley will come into the pit soon. The Garris Vac was the closest man to him here. And it looks like Vac has gone for the undercut. I think JC should have came in a lap earlier. The undercut gives you track position, and Suzuka is a fairly difficult track to overtake. So I think Vac has the better strategy here. We'll see what he's going to be able to do here. JC is most likely set to come into the pit. Here we go, Jinitwinit comes around the final turn, turn 18. Into the slipstream of Jacko. Jacko's really going to battle him out hard on this one. Jinit brakes super late and gets the move done. Jacko just can't match the braking prowess of that. What is he driving? That art. That art represented by Elma Jacko. And oh, have we lost Uncle Ben's rice? Where is he? Uncle Ben's rice. Oh, he's over there. Over there. Over there. Oh, they just cleaned him up. He was just in the wall right on the right there. I couldn't get onto a car quick enough, unfortunately. Okay, so it's just a VSC. It has since ended here. We continue on. Luge. HSVDT getting a little bit too excited to get back going here. Gets very heavy on the throttle. And he's going to try and catch back up to Impossible Bacon here. Excuse me, if you heard that. Second and a half in behind Impossible Bacon here. HS just kind of seems to be losing a little bit of the pace away. Elma Jacko as well, still within 8/10, but he's got the older mediums here. Elma Jacko is doing very well though. But Jinitwinit does have the advantage. Goes a little bit wide on going through turn 9 there. That's going to invite Jacko back towards him ever so slightly. But Jin is going to do his best to break away here. Will Anderson is going to try and get back up in the top 6. He's just right behind Hotspot here. Will qualifying in 5th place, so he's going to have a net loss of positions, but he's going to try and get at least one of those back. JC Blackley has moved up 11 spots. Ray, Super Ninas, and Grumpy Old Catman all losing over 10 respectively. I guess not respectively, unfortunately. So not what they were hoping for when it came to this race here. Ooh, Jacko just falls out of DRS in the worst possible moment. Was he within this second? No. No, that sucks for Jacko. Jin is going to try and pull away now. Second place seems to be fairly locked up for Jinit here. Has to just keep his nose clean. Has 2 laps to go. Will Lance, like I said, trying to get back up in 6th place. There we go. Now he's going to pull out down the inside line into turn 1. He's going to be able to completely out break Hotspot coming in through turn 1 and turn 2, and he's going to try and work his gap up to the S's, having the better traction, being on far fresher soft tires, and Hotspot sporting some mediums here. So Hotspot can only do so much there. I think he kind of understood that. Now he's all about trying to keep himself within 3 seconds to Will Ans, but it looks like Will Ans is going to just break away. Already a second separating. Alright. But yeah, Will Ans is working himself back, or out ahead of Hotspot. Needs to gain and separate himself another 2.8 away. Hotspot's doing really well here, but he's just going to be out of DRS. So the S's is where it really shows the tire difference. Unfortunately, Hotspot doesn't get DRS, so he won't be able to bring himself back closer any bit. Jinnit Twinnit picks up a penalty. What? Now he's got to open up 7/10 of a second. 6/10 of a second to Elma Jacko. Oh my. Will Ans has to open up 2 seconds, so maybe we'll stay on Jacko here. Oh, this is going to be close. Jacko's doing a good job, but Jinnit's softs are going to start falling off a little bit. Jacko has to keep it super clean. He does not have any sort of mistake to really work with here, as well as Jinnit Twinnit have to put in somewhat of a qualifying lap here. Spaceman picking up a penalty back in 13th place. Him and Chunky Corgi are probably going to be separated by the penalties there, but right now I'm going to try and keep my eyes up on the podium battle here. Oh, it's getting ever so close as Mr. Joker comes over the line for the win in the feature race. It's going to come down to these final couple corners here. 3/10, 2/10. Merfola getting out of the way, coming on the track and impeding Jacko ever so slightly, but Jacko is going to be able to get it done. 8/hundredths of a second. It's going to get him into 2nd place. Jinnit to win. It's going to be kicking himself, and that one really hurts. Impossible Bacon with a good finish. HSVDT as well with a really good finish. For the high-tech, as for Tuesdays and high-techs trade places there. Hotspot coming over 6th, Will Ans in 7th, not able to open up the gap enough to Hotspot. Mahi Mahi finishing in 8th, JC Blackley in 9th. The Garrison Vac is going to come over in 10th. And my apologies to the back of the pack there. I was somewhat distracted by the front the entire time. Going on there. Yeah, that was a fairly close one there. Oh, I'm on board with that. Was weird. There we go. Suvi's gonna finish up the final turn. I was fairly confused there. Oh, looks like we actually got some late racing here. And Commentator's Curse comes into play there. Chunky Corgi just getting too heavy on the throttle. What is actually, I don't know. And these tires are piping hot. And now he's somewhat in, he was for a moment, of a little bit of danger of losing a position, but Villeneuve has quite a bit of penalties. Corgi can't get Spaceman in the end. Last one to come over the line is Ninas, but he is absolutely glitched out and is battling with Mahi Mahi. Okay. So Ninas is gonna finish up this lap. We'll see how that goes. Okay, there we go. She's done. Oh yeah, because I think it's a 3-minute wait from the point the leader comes over the line. Okay, good, good, good. Alright, on to the results. And the podium. I feel like that's like our Hamverbot podium. Jinnit, Jacko, or Joker, Jacko, Jinnit. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but those guys find themselves on our Midwest podiums more than anyone. But anywho, Mystic Joker comes over to win, Elm Jacko second, Jinnit to win it third, Possible Bacon fourth, HSVDT fifth, Hotspot sixth, Willan seventh, Mahi Mahi eighth, JC Blackley ninth, the Garrus Vac rounding out the top 10. Sui, the higher of the dams, in 11th today, Spaceman in 12th, Chunky Corgi in 13th, Villeneuve in 14th. Knuckles in 15th. Speaking of the Knuckles, the Canadians not doing too well in this race. Crest UT 16th, Murfola 17th, and DNFs go to Uncle Ben's Rice and Super Ninas. Ray and Grumpy Old Catman as well getting a DNF. But let me look at how this goes to the championship standings here. So High Tech get first and a fifth, a 1 and a 5. So with the point structure, they will get 40 and 32, so 72 points. That's easy math. And then a second and a fourth. So I said 72, and then a second and a fourth is 72. Oh my god. So completely nothing has separated these two teams. Actually, only one thing has separated these two teams, and that'd be the man Jinnit to win it. But other than that, the High Techs and the Virtusis seeing eye to eye through this first feature race. Hit the advance while Spaceman packs his bull. Oh, there we go. Here we go. We're gonna get into the race. And now the Sprint Habanero Chicken McMuffin launches in July. Okay, and the race is underway somewhat. Alright, Mahi Mahi's going to battle a hot spot out into turn 1. Ooh, looks like nearly a little bit of contact, but they're going to battle all the way through the turn. Contact. Will Land says, hey, screw you guys, I'm just going to take this turn. Yellow flag all over the track. That's been lifted, and then it's been unlifted, and it's been lifted again, and it's going to be unlifted. There we go. Back to green racing. Mahi Mahi loses a position to Will Lands as him and Hotspot were battling it out through turn 1 and 2. Hotspot now losing another position and finds himself back down into 5th. Mystic Joker still in 8th, trying to make some positions, but trying to do it cleanly, as he tends to do. Janet to win it right behind Elma Jacko's. Jacko's going to try and hope for a good race here, but High Tech are sitting on top as it stands right now. HSVDT up in 3rd in a good position. Impossible Bacon trying to not hold up his teammate as well as make up positions. Hotspot is the next person up on his card here. Sitting in 4th place right now is the Carlin. Impossible Bacon just sitting one position back in 5th. Keeping ever so close, but not close enough to warrant any sort of move. Come around turn 14 here as I'm going to try and take the rest of this broadcast real seriously. Lines up the inside line, does Impossible Bacon. Doesn't feel like he has enough going for him there, so he backs out. Goes in behind Hotspot as he come through 130R here. Looks at the outside / the inside, then dives down the inside into turn 16. Forces Hotspot out wide, which turns into the inside, coming around 17 through the Casio triangle. Hotspot comes out in the lead of 4th place, but it looks like Impossible Bacon's going to try and drag him down, but we have a VSC as Chunky Corgi has binned it coming around the spoon curve, and a VSC seems somewhat pointless there. It was on the complete other side of the track, but I digress. We continue on. Impossible Bacon is going to try and make up the ground to Hotspot here. Mahi Mahi finds himself still in 2nd, HSVDT in 3rd. Junior to win it, still trying to find a double podium here this evening. Still trying to find, working on a double podium, as well as Jacko and Joker. JC Blackley just in 9th, but he's got quite some tough opponents ahead of him here. Pretty much 1 through 8, but he's got 3 of our highest caliber drivers that we have in MidWest F1 going through 6 to 8 there. Fulla, ouch. Welcome to the league. He goes through the drive-through. That one really hurts. Crustier T and Sue Wee battling in the back of the pack. I'm going to try and get a little bit of love to the back of the pack there. Sue Wee looks like he's got the position. Uncle Ben's Rice and the Garris Vac battling it out. And there you see the outside line coming through the hairpin. Coming to play there is Garris Vac. Makes it work and gets 10th place. Now Mystic Joker works... Looks like... No, sorry, I was on Janet to win it. I couldn't exactly tell Mystic Joker or what line he was taking there. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Looks like that is Uncle Ben's Rice that spun off around Spoon Curve. Mystic was thinking about an inside move on 130R, but wasn't quite going there. Uncle Ben's race trying to pick himself back up as he sees the pack drive off into the distance. DRS is now enabled in the shorter 11-lap race. We're not going to really see any, we shouldn't see any pitting unless someone is forced into it. It is it's going to be a tough race, especially these S-curves are going to catch some people out a little bit later here once the tire wear starts to decrease. Ginna to win it, really putting the pressure on Alma Jacko, but Jacko is just not allowing him through. Doesn't want to, yeah, of course, well, I mean, that goes without saying that Ginna to win it wants to get past Jacko, and Jacko doesn't want him to get past him, but he really doesn't want him to get past him, as he is going to try and work on the double podium. And if Ginna Twin gets ahead of him, then that's going to make the whole thing a little bit tougher here. But Impossible Bacon's really putting pressure here on Hotspot. HSVDT as well is really working on Mahi Mahi. We'll see if he can get a move going anytime soon here, but it's actually the Virtusis that are real tight onto the back of each other. And oh no, I think Mystic accidentally punted Jacko there. I can't say I didn't see it, but from the way that Jacko got sent through that turn, that might have been it. That could be huge for the Constructors' Championship standings there. We'll have to see how that one plays out. 6th place right now is where Ginna sits. Now he's going to try and get Hotspot. Impossible Bacon gets through Hotspot now up into 4th place. He's going to try and catch HSVDT, and HS is already dragging Mahi Mahi down the pit straight in the Lucas Giotto car. Coming around the outside, Mahi Mahi. No, where am I? Yes. Mahi Mahi able to hold on to second going around the inside line. I got a weird camera angle there, so I was a little bit disoriented. But we venture on. HS still in 3rd place, really all draped all over the back of that pink BWT. Mahi's ever so slightly slowing HSVDT up as it seems, but is not going to let the man go through. Will Ants is growing that gap as Mahi is just fighting off that Aussie of HSVDT here. Doing the best he can is Mahi, and oh no, who is that? Hotspot and Impossible Bacon? Yeah, oh, they got into some sort of tangle. I just caught the end of it. Instant replay would be great here, but for whatever reason that doesn't warrant a virtual safety car, but a crash on the last lap on a track that no one's even near warrants a virtual safety car. And now we get a full-on safety car. I should have just shut up. I should have just shut up. So now a safety car is going to bunch up the grid that lead. Remember that nice 3-second lead that you were able to work yourself there, Mr. Will Ants? Well, sorry, but she gone. As all these drivers are going to bunch right back up. Hotspot, unfortunately, losing out there. I didn't exactly catch what took place, but that does give Alma Jacko another chance. And the good news is that they kept it close in the feature race. Now, of course, the sprint race does count for points as well, but not as much as the sprint race. So a good finish from Jacko can still keep the Bertuzzi's close enough to close that gap in the constructors. If you're curious about the hockey game, it is 2-1 right now for the Lightning. They scored with .02 seconds left in the end of the second period here, and the Canadians have been fighting in the third to try and get that back. Looks like we're going to go around track once more. I guess we can take a peek at the position movers here. And Ray's, wow, very good so far. 12 positions gained. Mahi Mahi pitted. And imagine for some sauce, but this seems like a fairly bold strategy there. He was sitting in second place. I don't know if he caught any damage, but is what it is. Now he's going to try and have to work himself back from 16th. That's going to be quite a tough position. Just waiting on the Bertuzzi of Impossible to close the gap. Now, good thing, I guess no HSVDTs there. Okay, so a really tough spot for Bertuzzi. This would be a big pass for Jacko if he can get ahead of Mystic. That will just ever so slightly help out the points in the end, but with two high-techs being so high up, Impossible Bacon needs to drive his English heart out. He's going to want to try and close that gap. Oh. Surely the safety car will be in. We will have 4 full laps. Oh, sorry, my apologies. 5 full laps. Lap 6 will be in the books once the safety car is in. We'll see what these drivers can do from that point. Jinnit to win it is now a lot closer to Will Ans than he was before, as well as Mystic Joker a lot closer. So HSVDT and Will Ans are going to be under quite immense pressure as this race is going to go on. Like I said, 5 laps for them to try and hold out. I believe they got it in it. I think that it can be accomplished. As you can see, safety car is in. It's all dependent on how well Will Ans can mistime these drivers here. And as I've noticed quite a bit, backing the pack up right to the final turn really doesn't bode well for the race leader. In my opinion, it's probably better to try and launch almost as early as possible. Because there's a less... It's just easier for everyone to time you when you just go so slow up to the line. It's just a way easier time. Looks like we've already got Crustier T spun out there, dropped quite a bit of positions. So if any of you jamokes listen to this broadcast, you know, on a restart and you're leading, I mean, it's different. It's a nerve-wracking spot. You're the guy. You're the guy leading it all. As Jacko, here we go, is going to try and send it around the outside, and oh no, Jinnit gets into HSVDT, and Jinnit and HS are both all the way down. They have to pull off. HS does come back out in 7th. I didn't catch. I'd imagine that would be Jinnit's fault. And looks like the Garris Vac as well. He's spun out. As maybe some of these drivers didn't warm up their tires as much as they should, and are paying the price. That's going to allow Will Ans to have a 2.5 gap between himself and Mystic Joker. Villeneuve is up in 4th here. Let's see what he can do. He's got HS VDT in behind him, and HS with a damaged left end plate there on the front wing. Mahi Mahi's now all the way up in 7th now with these fresh softs, and everyone else on the 7-lap old mediums. So he's going to just try and work himself all the way back up. It's going to be tough, but I mean, he's made up all these positions early on with the collisions and whatnot to the drivers behind, or at one point ahead, but now behind. Oh, I guess, hey, let's pull this up. But Uncle Ben's Rice and HSVDT are really battling it out here. HSVDT, of course, like I said, with that end plate damage. Uncle Ben going deep around the hairpin now, and that has warranted Mahi Mahi to get back alongside him as we come through the blazing quick right-hander of turn 12 into turn 13/14. The Spurn Coupe. Okay. No, that was bad. Oh no, what happened? Okay, we did have a battle for the lead at one point there. It looks like Mystic Joker really did catch Will Ans coming around 130R there. Will Ans was able to hold him off. I don't think any DRS yet. I think it's going to come open next lap. Oh, yeah, there we go. So DRS is available here. And there you go. You see Mystic Joker trying to work on, fakes the outside and goes back to the inside. Will Ans still battling it out. A little bit of contact between the drivers. Will Ans is going to continue to fight this one out and forces Mystic to go around wide through turn 4, or that was turn 3. He forced him out wide and is still able to hold on to first place. So some real hard fought defensive driving there from Will Ans. Mystic Joker's forced to back out. Now we got to keep an eye on Jacko here, as if Will Ans and Joker once again get into a little bit of a tussle, that's when Jacko's at his best, in my opinion, is that he is able to time a gap of 2 drivers battling ahead and picking one of them off for a position here. So we'll have to see if that is to come here. As once again, Mystic Joker now lining up the inside line and coming into 13. Will Ans is once again going to battle it out and locks up through the turn, but he's going deep, so he's safe. And once again is able to hold off Mystic Joker here. And Alma Jacko once again gets closer with every turn because of the battling here. Now Mystic's going to line up the outside of 130R. Will Ans cuts that off. Jacko gets a really good run out of it. And Mystic goes... Oh, Will Ans goes deep. Oh, and now Jacko gets a piece of him. And Will Ans is not going to get DRS. Jacko doesn't get a good run out of the pit straight, but he's got DRS, and that comes huge. Will Ans breaks super deep around turn 1. The turn invites the option. Will Ans is going to fight out Jacko here. Jacko's really not wanting to give way, but unfortunately he has to. It looks like Uncle Ben's Rice binned it out of turn 18, and oh, Will Ans, no! Oh, the hard-fought battle for Will Ans, and his podium goal has come to an end. And Jacko picking up a what's the word? What is the word? Uncharacteristic track limitations penalty. So we'll see how that goes. But Mystic Joker has now got a lot of the pressure off of him now with that penalty to Jacko. But importantly enough, Jacko has or is going to finish second. HSVDT has worked himself back up to fourth, but Impossible Bacon has a very good drive that he's accomplished here and has worked himself back up into seventh and potentially sixth when all this is said and done. Knuckles going a little bit deep through 130R, but not too bad. Keeping good pace, that he will say. And oh no, Villeneuve spins. He was in such a good position, Villeneuve. Now he's got Crustier T rating behind us. Crustier T once again, or at one point, if you remember, had a little bit of issues. Impossible Bacon gets a pass on Knuckles halfway down the pit straight. And he's up into fifth. But 2.5 seconds separates him and HSVDT. I mean, if he's able to close the gap and overtake HS, then that is not absolutely huge, but that's going to be the difference of Bertuzzi losing 1-2 points or being even completely with. Yes, being completely even with High Tech through this entire Grand Prix. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do it here. He's already closed a half a second here. Those mediums are getting a little bit old. JC Blackley picks up a penalty. Will Ann's back in seventh. He's done well to get himself back into it. 1.8 is the difference between Impossible and HSVDT. He just doesn't have enough track left. Or maybe one more lap and it could be in the cards, but this is a real difficult one to get done. He is closing it though. Jacko and Mystic Joker come around 130R for the final time, as well through the Casio straight for the final time, as Mystic Joker is going to get another win. Elma Jacko another second place. 1 and 2 double for the dynamic duo. Mahi Mahi is going to finish third, a podium for him. HSVDT gets it done, as well as Impossible Bacon can't close the gap, but a very good drive like I said. The penalties are going to settle themselves out here. Villeneuve finishing ninth after that spin. Sui 7th, so the two dams picking up better positions here in the sprint race. Will Ann's finishing 8th after that unfortunate spin, as well as Jinnit to win it was on for a podium, but unfortunately, it wasn't it. Crustier T in 11th, JC Blackley in 12th, Spaceman coming over the line in 13th. Grumpy Old Catman is going to be the last to finish this up. He's going to come over in, actually, sorry, Murfola. So we're going to go Garisvac, Super Ninas, Grumpy Old Catman, and Murfola in 16th and 17th. But if you enjoyed Formula 2, then be sure to tune back in tomorrow night as we are back with our Formula 1 version. Actually, well, Formula 2 is more for fun. This is our division racing tomorrow at 6 years Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, as myself and Jacko go live with what is the highest of quality racing that we can put on the table here, as well as the lowest quality of casting that we can put on the table with myself and Elma Jacko. So be sure to come back and tune into that. If you want to shoot us a follow, that would be very much appreciated. Or smash that follow button if you like what you see. I'm noticing that a lot of the people that come in here aren't following, so if you want to really hit that follow, show me that you appreciate what I do. Yeah, if you'd like to, that'd be very much appreciated, but if you don't, is what it is. We'll live. Once again, I'll go through the finishing grid here. We see ourselves with a 1, 2, 3 of Mystic Joker, Elma Jacko, Mahi Mahi, HSVDT getting a solid 4th place, Impossible Bacon a very hard fought 5th place, Knuckles 6th, Sui 7th, Will Ann's 8th, Villeneuve 9th, Jinnit to win at 10th. Into the back half we go. We see Crustier T in 11th, JC Blackley 12th, Spaceman 13th, The Gearsvac 14th, Super Ninas 15th, Grumpy Old Catman 16th, Murfola, the last of the finishers, in 17th. Uncle Ben's Race, Ray, Hotspot, and Chunky Corgi DNFing. And through the feature race, I'll rip through it with Mystic Joker, Elma Jacko, Jenna to win it with the podium. Impossible Bacon, HSVDT, Hotspot, Will Ans, Mahi Mahi, JC Blackie, the Gearsvac in the top 10. Sui in 11th, Spaceman, Chunky Corgi, Villanova, Knuckles, Crest Your Team, Murfola are the last of the finishers. Uncle Ben's Race, Super Ninas, Ray, Grumpy Old Catman did not make it. So, entertaining stuff though, fun stuff. Japan did not disappoint. It was actually a very fun, enjoyable race here on my end. But like I said earlier on, if you're paying attention or if you're not here, we'll be back next week, Wednesday, in Formula 2. Sorry about that. That was kind of a piss off, but you know what? See you tomorrow. If you want to come in tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. 6 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, same place, same time. I've been Crash McQueen. We've been Midwest F1 League. Go check us out on YouTube as well, Twitter and Instagram there. But you have yourself a fine Wednesday night. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said, with my Australian friend, Elma Jacko.